Hello YouTube, this is Kiryu904, and I'm back with a review for the 1988 adventure fantasy movie Willow, which was directed by Ron Howard and written by Bob Dolman, based on a story by George Lucas. With the release of the Disney Plus sequel series, I thought I'd take a look at the original. The movie opens in the kingdom of Nockmaar, where the evil queen Bavmorda has all the pregnant women in her domain imprisoned in order to prevent a prophecy that tells of a child born with a unique rune birthmark who will bring about her demise. The baby is finally born, and the mother convinces the midwife to smuggle her out of the castle. She succeeds, but unfortunately the queen finds out and has the mother executed before sending out her Nockmaar hounds to catch the woman. The midwife manages to evade the hounds for months before they finally catch up to her, forcing her to place the child on a makeshift grass raft and send it down a river. The child then floats away as the hounds brutally maul the midwife to death. After some time passes, the raft, which surprisingly hasn't broken apart in the water, finally lands near a village of Nelwyn, or Little People, and the baby is taken in by the family of farmer and practicing sorcerer Willow Ufgood. He's reluctant to take in the child, but his wife and kids quickly take a liking to her and pretty much overrule him. Later on, at a festival, Willow performs some magic tricks, which are mostly successful, until he fails to make a pig disappear. Soon after, though, a Nockmaar hound shows up and begins ransacking any cradles it can find, searching for the baby, but is fortunately killed by a group of Nelwyn warriors. Later, Willow and his family present the child to the rest of the village and its leader, the High Aldwin, and explains that the hound was most likely looking for her. The High Aldwin decrees that she must be returned to a daikini, or tall person, and assembles a group, including Willow, to go out and locate one. The village leader also gives Willow some magic acorns that can turn people to stone, and encourages him to have more faith in himself, before the party sets off. The Nelwyn group eventually arrive at a crossroads, where they meet a daikini named Mad Mardigan, who is trapped inside a gibbet. He offers to take the baby if they free him from his cage, and despite his shifty demeanor, most of the Nelwyns think they should hand her over to the man. However, Willow and one other, Migosh, aren't so sure about Mad Mardigan, and the group argue about it until the majority decide to head back to the village, leaving Willow and Migosh behind with the baby. They then attempt to give her over to a passing army on their way to fight Bavmorda's forces, but they're unable to, and the duo ultimately decide to free Mad Mardigan and let him care for the child. On their way back to the village, the two are captured by a group of brownies, people even smaller than Nelwyn, who have also stolen the baby from Mad Mardigan. However, they're freed by the fairy queen Cherylindria, who explains that the infant's name is Elora Danan, the future princess of Tir Asleen, and is prophesied to defeat Bavmorda. She then gives Willow a wand and tells him to seek out the enchantress Vin Raziel, who will help guide them. Migosh is sent home, while two brownies, Fragine and Rule, lead Willow to Raziel. The trio eventually come across a tavern, where they're reunited with Mad Mardigan, who is attempting to hide from his mistress's husband by dressing as a woman. Unfortunately, Bavmorda's forces arrive, led by her daughter Sorsha and Commander Kael. In their search for the infant, they expose Mad Mardigan, but luckily the husband of his mistress is enraged upon discovering that he's a man and starts a bar brawl, which allows him and the others to escape with the child. Sometime later, Mad Mardigan splits from the group before they finally reach Raziel, but discover that she's been transformed into a possum by Bavmorda. Things go from bad to worse when Sorsha and Kael catch up, having apprehended Mad Mardigan, and take the rest prisoner instead of kill them for some reason. During their imprisonment, Willow tries to turn the enchantress back to human form, but simply changes her into a bird. Fortunately, Fragine and Rule, who evaded capture, manage to free them, but accidentally douse Mad Mardigan with a love potion. The daikini then proceeds to enter Sorsha's tent and declares his love for her during the party's escape attempt, much to the others' chagrin. They do manage to flee as the rest of Bavmorda's forces try to recapture them, and are able to find Elora. After sledding down to another village, they find themselves cornered, but are saved by the army from earlier, led by Mad Mardigan's old friend Eric. As Eric's army covers their escape, the group takes Sorsha hostage and head to Tir Asleen. On their way, Sorsha questions Mad Mardigan if he was sincere in his declaration of love before making her escape. He tries to go after her, but Willow tells him to leave her. They finally arrive at Tir Asleen, but find its inhabitants frozen in stone and overrun with trolls. While Mad Mardigan goes to arm himself, Raziel encourages Willow to make another attempt at returning her to her human form, but fails again and transforms her into a goat. Bavmorda's army soon catches up, and the two do their best at fending them off, as well as the trolls. During the battle, Sorsha has a sudden realization that she, in fact, has fallen for Mad Mardigan and betrays her forces. Meanwhile, Willow defends Elora from the trolls, even using the wand on one of them. However, this results in turning it into a two-headed dragon. The dragon is quickly dealt with by Mad Mardigan, but Elora is kidnapped by Kael and the Nockmaar army retreats just as Eric's forces arrive. Both Willow's group and the army set out to assault Bavmorda's castle and rescue Elora. Eric's men prepare to attack, however Bavmorda casts a spell to turn them all into pigs, although Willow is able to cast a protection spell and is unaffected. He then makes a third attempt to restore Raziel back to normal and is successful. Afterwards, she is able to reverse Bavmorda's pig spell, and Willow and his allies work on a plan to rescue Elora. The next day, the Nockmaar see Willow and Raziel standing alone in front of the castle. The army attempts to capture the two, which is when Eric's forces spring into action, emerging from underneath their tents and riding through the castle gate before it can be closed. How Bavmorda's men never noticed them setting up this plan during the night is anyone's guess. While Eric's men keep the Nockmaar busy, Willow, Raziel, and Sorsha rush to prevent Bavmorda from completing a ritual that will banish Elora from the world. The three make it to the chamber, and Raziel engages Bavmorda in a magical duel. Back with the army, Eric is killed by Kael, although Mad Mardigan succeeds in slaying him. Back with the others, both Raziel and Sorsha are taken out by Bavmorda, but finds that Willow has rescued Elora. She corners him, and he tries turning her to stone with the magic acorns, although it doesn't work. Before the evil queen can attack, however, Willow tricks her into thinking he made Elora disappear with the pig trick he attempted at the village festival. A furious Bavmorda goes to kill the Nelwyn, but accidentally knocks over some potions and ends up banishing herself. After the battle, everyone returns to Tir Asleen, where the citizens have been restored, and they celebrate their victory. Raziel gives Willow his own spellbook, and he says goodbye to Mad Mardigan and Sorsha, who have decided to adopt Elora. Afterward, he returns to his village and is warmly greeted by his friends and family, which is where the film ends. And that was 1988's Willow. I found this to be an enjoyable fantasy film. While there wasn't anything particularly unique or special about the characters, they were quite likable. Both Willow and Mad Mardigan made for pretty good protagonists. Virgin and Rule were nice comic relief without being annoying. I will say that Mad Mardigan and Sorsha's romance did come out of left field. Also, Bavmorda wasn't exactly the most memorable villain. The acting was solid, however, the special effects were a mixed bag, with some holding up better than others. It has a great score by the late James Horner that feels appropriate for a movie such as this. So, while not being a masterpiece of fantasy, Willow is a fun and entertaining watch for those who are fans of the genre. I'm also curious on how the Disney Plus series will follow up on this film. Be sure to share your thoughts on Willow down in the comments. Thumbs up if you enjoyed this movie review, and subscribe if you'd like to see more. You can also follow me on Twitter. Goodbye, and have a good day.